All right. Anyway, let's get going.
Hey, how did you do that?
I got a little thing.
That's smart.
I don't know what they're called.
Fancy.
Yeah.
It's a Joby, that's what it is.
Joby, that's what it is. Shout out to Joby. No, shout out to you two because we are recording. So I'm here with Shayelle, and Dani. Now I'm not even going to tackle your last names because you both got
please
so
try,
much.
actually.
No, I can't.
What did my mum say? My mum last night, this is her try. Danielle
She added an N in there.
Yeah, Bazergy. And we were like,
Bazergy.
it's close because
I
like she's
kind of
full of
like
energy.
it.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
Bazergy.
Bazergy.
I'd like you to have a crack at Shay's last name, actually.
No,
Yes.
that's why I say is that Lajoie? Lajoie?
Oh
no?
my God!
Lajoie? Is
You're
that
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
See,
Lajoie.
but I feel like because it's
Lajoie.
got a ballet background, you have ballet background.
Maybe,
right?
yeah,
French.
yeah.
Ballet, French,
Right.
Lajoie.
Right, that's right. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, well, that's not bad.
Yeah, Shayelle Lajoie, it's not terrible.
Yeah, that sounds good off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I'm glad you
You
said
should
that.
hear Siri say it. Whenever I'm driving, I say, "Hey Siri, can you please call Shayelle Lajoie?" I think she calls you Lajoie. Lajoie.
Yeah.
Lajoie.
Well, that's when I first saw it, like we just said before we started recording and shit, because you put your first and last name together, there's just a whole shitload of L's in there.
There
and
is.
So I feel for Siri. I know her feeling. So anyway, now that we got your names out, like, what backgrounds are they?
So my dad's Lebanese. That's where I came from. Yeah.
Yeah. And what?
Mauritian. My dad's
Mauritian, right,
Yeah.
so that's the French thing. Okay, cool. All right. Now, there would be people watching this going, okay, Corey, we follow your podcast and all that type of thing. Who the hell are these two ladies? Because really, you've not come from like a dance background, and why I got you on here for, because I feel like you both lead really, really healthy lifestyles, and it's like organic. There's nothing too fake about it, so...
I like to think that.
I don't think it's forced.
I agree.
I don't think it's forced, because
Definitely
there
not.
are some fitness people out there and people that are promoting certain lifestyles where it feels a little forced. Like I feel like
Doing
you
it
just
for the wrong reasons.
yeah, where I feel like you guys just kind of did it organically for yourselves, and then people just jumped on board and were like, hey,
Totally.
these two
Agreed,
chicks are pretty
yeah.
cool. Is that kind of how it happened? Or did you make a conscious decision to start putting more content out in the world about what you're doing?
I think I started consciously putting more content out there once there was more of an ask or a demand for it. So I was doing it more so for the love of it when I first started.
Yep.
And then, when it became regularly asked, I was like, okay, I might make this more of a
thing.
career.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Same?
A little different. That's interesting. I've never asked you that question.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Oh.
Mine started because I went on a surf trip a few years ago and I was just posting GoPro photos.
Yeah.
And I was like blown out of my mind that I could get photos from that view. And I was like, that's so cool. So I was screenshotting videos,
Right.
putting them up. And this was when I figured out what hashtags were. It's probably like 6 years ago.
yeah.
And I'm
Yes.
like,
The
hashtag
hashtag.
group hook, hashtag
Yeah.
girl surfer. And people that were surfing group hook, which was like the surf spot in Indonesia.
Sorry, what are you saying?
Group hook.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because I was like nodding going, I'm just going to act like I know what that is, but yeah.
I'm going to ask questions.
It's like a little bay in the south of Lombok, which is an Indonesian island.
Okay.
And
Hashtag
people
group
would
hook.
paddle out and be like, oh, I saw you on Instagram last night. Complete randoms. And they're
Wow.
like, you're like Shayelle or whatever. They're trying to say my name. Yeah. Around then is when I should have changed my name, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I'm like, people are finding me on these hashtags. How cool. And in this 4-month surf trip, I reckon I got from like 800 followers up to maybe like 4,000. Real
shit.
quick.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was just hashtags and location. Anyway, and then a good friend of mine, Ashley Freeman, she's like now Ashley Rudd, I think. I don't know if she's changed her name on Instagram.
I think she's still Freeman.
Is she? Oh, Freeman Rudd. I think she just like that. Let's just add the whole family on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, she had like 100,000 followers at the time.
Right.
And we went on a few holidays together, and every time she'd post with me, people would just jump
Straight
on
up there.
board. Yeah, like 500, 1,000 people. And then it all started, then it was a pretty easy way to start.
Yeah.
I think at that point it got to me to like 6,000 to 8,000-ish.
Okay.
And
How
this
long ago was this?
This is about 2014.
Yeah, right. At a time when it was kind of like hard to grow on Instagram too.
That doesn't sound like that long ago, but that's 5 years ago.
That is fine.
Yeah,
That's
but when
crazy.
you think about it, 2014, like that's when I graduated high school.
You're so young.
I know.
Oh, you're young.
But if
Yeah.
you think about it, like having a big Instagram back then was something very hard to achieve. Like it wasn't really a thing yet.
Yeah.
Like influencers weren't a thing yet.
But you were lucky if you started back
Yeah,
then, 'cause then
exactly.
you had a
Because
head
you
start.
got a foot in the door.
But it sort of hit me when I was out in the surf one day in Byron, and this girl recognised me, and she's like, "You're Shay from Instagram." I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." And then she got me out of the surf, took me into a shop, and she had all these swimwear like labels that she created.
Right, and you started rocking it.
Yeah, she's like, "Can you rock it?" And then it started, and all these people wanted to jump on board, and I realised it was a thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, rock your swimwear, and then that was when I realised I had to only promote things that I would wear, because I did a few times promote things I wouldn't have used as a consumer.
Just didn't feel right.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, that's totally not me. I'm a no bullshit person also.
agreed.
So I was like,
Yeah.
not happening. And then that sort of paved
Paved the way.
Paved the way to the
Paved.
path that you're on.
Yeah.
Created some paths for you.
There you go, thank you.
Cool. Okay. So now we know how you've both kind of got a bit of a following. Really funny. Normally I make a coffee or someone for someone, but this is the first time you've both rocked up with your own coffee. Is there something special about this coffee?
Yeah.
What have you done to
It's
it?
body
It's Body
size.
Science coffee.
Body
Non-product
Science
placement tea.
Yeah.
I've
Accidental.
strategically positioned the logo this way. We just, love this stuff. And we made a coffee while we were about to leave. And we're like, oh, okay, well, let's just take them with us.
With mushrooms in it. I put mushrooms
Oh,
in it.
yes, you did put, can you tell
What did you do?
tell the people about the mushrooms? She's been
You
teaching me
know.
about
No, I
mushrooms this
don't.
morning. Legal
I
mushrooms.
don't know that. No one knows how to put
Yeah, I'm high as a kite.
She was teaching me about mushrooms this morning. Tell them what you told me.
You know.
We lost you.
No, I've never put mushrooms in my coffee.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I
It's a
actually
thing,
thought it was a
apparently.
thing, so I put it on my story the other day. That's normal. That's body science. This is
that's
mushroom.
Oh,
Body
wait.
Science coffee.
Did you
That's
put
like,
mushrooms
that
back in
smells
that
like
one?
coffee.
Yeah, I put a second dose.
Oh, you're mushroom.
Fine. Not much
Yeah,
difference.
right. No, it's not. Okay.
Can't
All right. So
taste
tell me why you're putting mushrooms in your coffee.
Well, it's pretty. You know what? 50% of my followers actually know what's up about the actual
I'm a bad follower. I feel like once I've kind of got your gist, I'm really bad. I need to pay more attention.
That's rude.
Yeah, I know.
You just
I'm a
gotta-
bad
I feel like just
follower.
watching stories keeps you up to date. Right?
It does.
It's like-
It does. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I need to find out why you got mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I put up a poll
Yeah.
saying like, who puts mushrooms in their coffee?
Right.
Thinking, one of the answers was what the fuck, and the other one was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I do too. And it was a good 50-50 split of like about 300 people on each side of the fence. So a lot of people know about these mushrooms.
Right.
This is a brand that I use called Life Cycle, and I'm only using them because a friend of mine, or someone who used to come to my boot camp, he just gave me a bunch one day. He's like, look, I'm promoting these mushrooms, we're gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
So I went and researched them, and I was like, oh yeah, I've heard a bit about like the, you know how things start in starting in LA, like these movements,
Yeah.
vegans, everything kind of comes from LA and it gets trendy and then we get it.
Yep.
So mushroom lattes and mushroom teas are a huge thing in LA, apparently. And I was like, oh, see why? And it's all for like brain health.
Right.
So like clear thinking, helping like neuron growth, everything that you kind of get from fasting, you can apparently also get from these mushrooms.
Right.
And you can
That's
also...
interesting. Because I did fasting and I don't know why I just didn't want it. I ended up putting on
What were
weight.
you trying to...
Yeah, that's the thing. What were you trying to achieve?
What were you trying to achieve?
Trying to lose a bit of weight.
And how are you doing it?
Just intermittent fasting. So just
16-8.
yeah.
So eating the same amount of calories you would in a day, but just in a shorter time frame?
And you gained weight.
Gained weight.
Were you
yeah,
training
really
at the
weird.
time?
Yeah, really weird. I don't know. Maybe it was a good weight that I put on.
Did you gain muscle? Oh, you mean on the scales?
Yeah.
Not in the mirror.
No, not in the mirror. No,
Okay.
yeah, in the mirror, like I was looking great, and then I jumped on the scales and went, fuck, I just gained 2 kilos.
Oh, so with a lot of people find with fasting that you probably have the exact same story, is that they gain muscle and lose fat a lot easier, especially if you're working out on a fasted stomach. So it's actually really... Danielle just farted.
That's my foot.
Just be able to get to a really good point, and then you farted with your foot. Thank you, Dani.
Farting. I'm not intermittent farting.
Intermittent farting. Right.
She's practicing right now.
It's not going to move.
Keep those feet
I'm going to
still.
take my shoes off.
Yeah, I thought you took your shoes off.
was
See?
me.
Oh no, you took your
I had
shoes off.
shoes.
I'm very sorry, I interrupted your flow.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah. I'm actually really surprised that you gained weight, but I personally think, from an anecdotal perspective, it was muscle.
Yeah,
Not
okay.
fat.
Alright,
Yeah.
there you go.
Did
Anyway.
you feel leaner? Did you feel like you put on fat?
Oh, I don't know. I honestly didn't feel too much, like I didn't feel a big difference. But for me, like I just always, and I don't know if it's just generally my body has changed maybe in the last 3 years, but I used to always sit, say if I had a shoot or anything coming up, I would look really good at 79 kilos. Like if I was at 79, So for me, in my head, that's my
It's a
number.
number, yeah.
Where I go when I'm 79, and then I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be everything. When that shit's coming up. So I just thought it'd be nice to get back there. And I just I was sitting at that 81. I was just like, maybe if I do this fasting thing, it'll work. But I started training like crazy, and I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was a bit of muscle mass, but for me, the 79 wasn't there. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go back to what I used to do.
Yeah, I think it's a mental thing a lot of the time too, especially in females. Like they have a number in their mind, like, I looked really good at this weight, so I want to get back to that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but a lot of the time you do need to keep in mind that, this is a kilo of muscle, this is a kilo of fat.
Oh yeah, and I was also 19, 20 at the time.
Yeah.
That was my 79 mark, and now, I'm now 27, I was probably, it was after my birthday, and so there's also that, just like, the way the body works as time progresses. So I was just like, fuck, body's not working how it used to.
Yeah,
that's all right, that's cool.
You're not going to stay 79
not going to
kilos
stay. So anyway,
forever.
brain function and has a parallel to
mushrooms.
fasting.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I just want to...
Actually,
where are we going with this?
we're going to get back to the mushrooms, but one sec. You know how I just said before how I'm a bad follower? I realised why I didn't catch on with the mushrooms is because I realised that you're staying just down the road from me, and I love that house that you're in. And when you've been posting stories, I actually haven't been noticing anything else but the house, because every time I walk past it, I go, fuck, I love that house. I wish I could look in it. So I've been checking out the kitchen.
Oh, you should come and
come play.
I will.
Come to dinner.
Yeah.
Come play lemon ball with us.
Yeah.
Lemon ball!
Can we tell you about lemon ball?
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Yeah, what's lemon ball?
So one day when we got out of the surf, yes, I surf, guys.
Yeah.
What was it, your third day?
It was like, I've stood up like once and I've been out there 7 times. We just come out of the surf and we found this lemon coloured.
Thought it was a lemon.
Oh, yeah, we thought it was a lemon, like a ball on the sand. We're like, what the hell is a lemon doing here? And it was one of those squishy, are they squash balls? Is that what they are?
Yeah.
And we're like, this is fun. And it was like around sunset time, we were a bit delusional. We left our phones back in the house.
There was blue bottles everywhere, so we couldn't get back in the surf.
Yeah. And we're like, what are we going to do? And then we started playing tennis with
our surfboards.
With our surfboards,
right.
with this ball.
Do you still have the ball? Did you take it home?
Yes, we have it.
Yeah,
had it for like a year.
Alright, well,
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
kept this ball. Anyway, that's not lemon ball.
Oh,
So,
that's not lemon ball. Right, okay.
I'm getting there.
Oh,
And
You always have to
then
know the backstory with us.
I think it was like a new moon or something. We're both in very funny moods.
No, we're not. We're
We
hilarious.
were. And then we were walking back up along we were at Bondi, like the footpath, like along the promenade.
Yeah.
Bondi. Walking back and there was like cracks in the cement and we started playing handball. We're like, okay, this is fun. And then we made up a game called Lemon Ball. Do you want to take it from me?
Lemon ball is essentially handball, but every time your hand hits the ball, you have to say in alphabetical order
There's like a topic. So say for
topic.
example, animals.
Yeah.
So we'll go albatross, bear, cat,
dog,
elephant,
right.
Continue.
flamingo.
But there,
Yeah.
you obviously
It's
get stuck
fun.
on some letters, right?
Yeah.
And then you get passers-by to come in, and we're like, hey sir, excuse me, and because it's the promenade, people just doing happy laps with their dogs.
Yeah.
So you get the same person come back, they're like, zebra!
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay,
There's one guy,
right.
what was that one? I can't remember what example he gave us, but like he told us an
this
example.
African
He
thing
came
you've never heard
back
of.
to do the second lap and he's like giving us fun
He
facts
just comes
about
back and goes like, and you're
Yeah.
like, what the hell type of animal is that?
So that's lemon ball, and we do all different types of
Jesus
topics, like
Christ.
types of
Cars.
transport. Yeah, cars.
Oh, Uber, that was a great answer.
Qantas.
Qantas. And
Yeah, okay.
Types of food.
So that's
that's
lemon
lemon
ball.
ball.
Okay.
Can be a great workout.
Yeah, okay. So, I can come down and have
Come
dinner
play
and
lemon ball.
Fuck it, that sounds great.
Oh my god, that is the perfect night.
Done.
Generally, I do that more as a drinking game, though, like
No,
more categories.
you don't
but
need to be.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you don't.
You're with us.
You'd struggle.
We're fun.
Yeah, you struggle.
But it could be. I could see how it
We
could
are
be.
the alcohol.
Yeah, just the categories, and you like, go through
It's-
it. Are you girls, actually, now that I think about that, are you guys party goers a bit? Like, do you still let your hair loose a little bit?
On Fridays, usually, in activewear.
Fridays
Oh,
and
yes,
activewear.
our Friday tradition at Bondi Public Bar.
Good bar, that.
Good bar for hot
Activewear.
chips. Great hot chips.
Okay.
Best in town.
Yeah, so we generally are doing something active Friday afternoon, so we're in our activewear.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to Public Bar, have a red wine, eat hot chips, and be home by
But sometimes it
10:30.
escalates. Like, we've been known to push each other in trolleys.
Oh, right.
But But like, I think we were more where.
Actively finding trolleys to push, or just if
No,
like
they
there's
just
one
turn
there,
up.
they
Yeah.
just turn
I
up.
think the universe. The
Just
universe
like, fuck
gives
it,
us
let's
fun
go get some
things.
trolleys.
Exactly, lemon balls, trolleys.
Lemon balls and trolleys, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are off
Universe
chain.
is hilarious.
It is. It is. I wanted. So you're both are you vegetarian, vegan?
Vegan.
Both vegan, yeah.
Both vegan. When did that happen?
Get out.
And why? There's the
Leave. I've been vegan for just over a year. I was
Okay.
vegetarian for about 2-3 years before that, and was like trialing being plant-based, like on and off a while throughout as well.
Okay.
I think when Shay and I first started hanging out like regularly is when I made the change. It was around that time, I think.
That generally happens around me.
Yeah.
Like, fine.
Fine,
I'll
I'll
have a
do
salad.
it. Are you one that talks about it a lot?
Oh, so much.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but in what aspect though? Do you mean like?
Like trying to get people to jump over the fence.
She more just comes up with fun facts,
I
like
do, yeah.
she just
Like, did
like
you
the
know?
mushrooms, like
Yeah.
little things like that, and I think
Right,
it takes its
okay.
toll and has an
Yeah.
effect on people.
My parents have pretty much been turned plant-based now for the last probably year and a half.
Okay.
The only time they will eat meat is like if it's a big family thing and, you know, someone's gone to the effort of cooking a big salmon or uncle's caught like a stingray and they're going to eat it.
Yeah.
Stingray.
Can you eat
You
stingray?
can eat stingray, yeah. My uncle literally caught stingray on our last holiday. I found out the hard way. But,
Fuck yeah. Yeah, right. Anyway.
but yeah, I think instead of shoving it down people's throats, I more prefer to answer people's questions with a lot of fun facts and
Okay,
a lot
that's
of
cool.
keep it open, and because I know what it's like to be on the other side of the fence. Like, you know, when people are trying to shove the Bible down your throat and people are trying to shove all this information down your throat, it
Yeah,
doesn't
she's
ever
not
feel
pushy
good.
with it.
No.
But it's more, I do it all, the information I give is I'm doing it from a place of like wanting people just to understand that how corrupt the food industry is and the pharmaceutical industry is. So I kind of want to shed a light on it so that I don't feel bad for not saying something, but I'm not trying to convince everyone that it's the whole truth, the end of the world.
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
situation.
I will probably get in more to what made you go down this line of thing, but there's a question I sometimes like to ask because I've got a few mates that are just like really heavy and like they get like real serious and start eyeballing you talking about it, just going, bro, you don't know, and I'm just like, okay, bro, like chill out a bit.
Yeah,
We're
no,
just-
it's too much.
Yeah, I just want to go for a walk.
You still
Like,
need to
it still
you
needs
need to
to.
enjoy life and your food.
Yeah.
And you can't let it consume you too much. as well.
Yeah, big time. But my question was, if farming was done in a more humane way, would you still be a vegan?
Yes.
Humane. What do you mean? Humane?
Like at the moment, like you see how they're like pumping animals full of steroids and they're just pumping them out the door. Like if we turn the clock back and go back in the 20s, 30s and that, where it was just more just farming
It looks
and
like a typical local farm.
yeah, like
Still no.
Yeah, I
Still
think
no?
most of it, I think both of us and a lot of plant-based people out there turned for the health benefits.
so
and
it's
for
health
the-
benefits
yeah,
rather
the
than
nutrition side
the
rather
animal cruel, because that was the
I mean,
only
a
thing
lot
that
of
would bring me
that's-
over.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff does play into it. Like once, like the ethical stuff does obviously come to mind a lot. And like growing up, all I wanted to do was be vegetarian, but I grew up in a very traditional, you know, meat and 3 veg kind of for dinner every night type of family. Always wanted to be a vegetarian, but it was always almost like pressured and like known that, you know, you have to eat your, you have to drink your milk, you have to eat your meat, you have to do this, otherwise you're going to be weak and you're going to be malnourished. When really, when I was like turned about 1920s, when I started doing my own research and found out like, oh no, you can not only survive off a plant-based diet, you can thrive off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the ethical stuff does play into it, but I think the reason I first turned was like,
Long-term health.
yeah,
Right.
For sure.
sustainability.
Yeah.
I did it as like an experiment. Are we onto that question? I don't want to like jump the gun.
No.
Ash Freeman and I were on a holiday in Thailand and we watched Cowspiracy. And we were like, oh, like sitting in our hotel room, like just crying. So we're like, okay, let's try it vegan for a month. Why not? So we did it.
Just in a nutshell, what's Cowspiracy about?
Cowspiracy is about the environmental impacts of
The beef industry. No?
but yeah, everything. Yeah,
Right.
animal agriculture in general, but
Right.
mostly beef.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you interesting fun facts. Like I think it's 89%.
Not so much fun.
Not fun. Anti-fun facts. Like 89% of the Amazon is wiped out due to animal agriculture.
Yeah,
And, you know, like all the transport modes combined don't even emit as much carbon emissions than just beef alone, like cows.
Really?
Yeah, and just all these little things and how much water it takes, how much food it takes to blah, blah, blah. Like we're feeding animals like 3 times the amount of food that we could just be feeding the entire planet worth of people. But we just feed it to cows and then we eat the cow and we get way less calories out of one piece of steak than all the food that cow ate.
It's
so
a way. I've
interesting
never
facts
looked at
like
it that way.
Yeah.
That we give the animals more food and
Yeah, because what you get is so little for how much food that cow is eating.
Yeah, that's a cool little point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all these things can't just change overnight. Like, we can't go, all right, the whole world goes vegan, we eradicate the cows, we'll send them to space, and then free up the land. Like, we have to all decide as each person to change our consciousness just a little bit. Like, even Meatless Mondays is a thing happening in, like, Finland and all different parts of, like, the Scandinavian countries, which is cool to see, because it means a whole country is thinking...
I feel like they're light years ahead of us over there, though.
Yeah.
Some of the shit that they do.
They have, like, 4-hour work days.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I mean, I don't work, but...
Yeah, and like...
Much. I'm thinking for the rest of you people.
I mean, I don't work much either, too.
Listeners, for you guys.
Oh, shit, that's
I
funny.
moved to Finland, guys.
But they have like 80% tax like over there, but yet their way of living is so much better. Like their tax rates are like crazy over there. So yeah, okay. So they're kind of like, you know, trying to put it more in their society. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Where was I?
Finland.
Before I moved to Finland.
No, you're talking about like cowspiracy and all that type of thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we
And the
went
emissions
vegan.
and all that type of stuff.
Okay, yeah. So cowspiracy is all about. Thank you. The impact of us humans consuming meat and dairy and eggs. And anyway, so we trialed it for a week. Sorry, Ash and I. And I got home. My boyfriend at the time had cooked this big vegan meal, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, how amazing! How'd you know I'm vegan now?" And well, he kind of told me he made me a vegan meal. And he's like, since I saw it on your story a week ago, I decided to go vegan too. So it was like,
cute.
we might as well keep going. Yeah.
Cute.
What a
vegan
cute
goals.
Absolutely.
Yes.
X goals.
Ex-vegan goals. Yes.
And then it was just easy because the two of us were living together, eating together, training together. So then it paved this simple pathway for me to be able to be vegan, and seeing the results for me were more of a physical experience. So I never got any more like DOMS, you know, after you work out and you're like so slow you can't move. It doesn't happen anymore when you don't have meat in your system.
Yeah, the inflammation's a big one.
Massive.
And now my back is shot to pieces, like, just can't do shit anymore. Like, after that little photo shoot that we had, I was fucked. Like, could not move. I was doing these bloody Superman push-up things, and my lower back the next morning, I was just like, just like walking around like,
Yeah, that's
bloody,
crazy.
what's that little thing from Star Wars? Help me out. What's that blue thing that spins around?
Oh, R2-D2?
Yeah.
C3P3.
C3PO is the
I'm
tall
really,
one.
yeah. Oh, okay, right, yeah. Anyway,
R2-D2.
in short, I felt like shit.
I haven't seen these there.
What?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Okay,
But I know
we're gonna
that
watch Star Wars
Sunday.
tonight after we play Lemon Board.
Fucking hell, that's
What
a
a night.
weird Friday night for me.
And a big vegan dish.
Yeah, and a
Done.
big old vegan dish. Alright, cool. Okay, yeah,
Lemon Bowl,
alright.
Star Wars, vegan food.
Get
And
it.
us.
Yeah, and you too. Cool. So you saw some. So your post-workout, there was no soreness.
No soreness, and also for me it was a massive thing was my moods, and my ex could probably tell you the same story. I was like a big mood swinger, and that was probably accredited to the amount of chocolate I would eat. Like, I'm talking a pack of Tim Tams for breakfast dipped into Milo, and then lunchtime a big bag of Family Maltesers, and then dessert like ice cream, or usually, this is my favourite dish, ex-favourite dish, was Tim Tam dipped into Nutella, dipped into Milo.
Jeez, you're not
Whole
fucking
packet.
around, are you?
I did
Damn.
not fuck around. That's the problem.
You needed help.
Yeah, I did.
I
And
get it
my
now. You're like,
dips and troughs were, out
You're
the door.
like, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Send her outside.
Yeah.
Sleep in the dog kennel. So that was me for so long, but then it actually took a huge toll on my mental health. So 2014, I was diagnosed with bipolar.
Right.
And I refused to take the drugs because I was like, no, I really think it's to do with what I'm eating, because I was really aware of how much sugar I was eating, but I wasn't prered to go
I just had a can of Milo. I'm not bipolar. I'm just, like tripping.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Now that's why I have mushrooms. I'm totally kidding. They don't make you
One addiction to the next.
No, I don't. That's mushrooms. Totally
That's the
fine.
That's the mushrooms talking.
Do you have an obsessive personality though? Like, do you kind of get addicted to things?
I don't know, do I?
No, I don't think so.
No, I literally just think it was a sugar addiction. Like, sugar is one of the most addictive substances
it's a
on the
drug.
planet, so.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm with you on the
just
chocolate
that.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
I do have a fair bit of chocolate. I'll show you downstairs. There's like, I don't know why, because, still at home, but like, Mum buys these big blocks of Cadbury chocolate, just fucking stacks
no.
them.
I
haven't had
Like 5 of them
Cadbury
downstairs.
years.
Literally, I got like 5 of them just sitting
But
there
you don't
downstairs.
go through them and eat them all, like straight away.
No.
See, that
used to be me. I used to,
I'd probably have, if I have like a row, then I'm like, okay.
What? See,
How do
that's
you
not
stop
normal.
it?
How do you-
No.
yeah. Stopping at a block is normal for us, I would say.
Or like half a block.
Okay, I would
block.
finish yours.
But we used to have a Cadbury block in the family when I used to live with my parents every night. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was, I think probably not to the same extent that what Shay was doing.
Did you
but it was
feel-
just something that we grew up knowing and doing. But I was actually, my parents didn't tell me, they disagreed with me, but I was like lactose intolerant for since I was born pretty much.
Now, when was the first time you heard someone that was lactose intolerant? How old were you? Because I feel like I didn't grow up with people
I thought
being
they were
lactose intolerant.
lactose the first time I heard it. Like, lactose? That's
You
kind of weird.
lactose? Wait, let me count.
And taller ants?
Yeah, right.
I
Okay.
hate tall ants. No, I reckon the first time I heard lactose intolerant would have been, I studied cooking at school, so probably year 11.
Right.
That was forced upon me. Apart from that, it would have been like 5 years ago.
Well, I would have been about 16 when I first heard of the term, but I was always growing up and I was forced to, have my bowl of cereal every morning.
Yeah.
And I always used to argue with my parents and say, no, I don't like it, makes me feel sick, I don't want to have it. They'd be like, no, you need it, you need your calcium, you need your strong bones. And this was something I went through from
Family just
5
loves
to
cereal,
16.
eh?
Well, they don't know any better. And I think a lot of the time it's just a lack of education around.
Or a forced education, because you're forced to learn about the dairy industry.
Yeah, exactly. And I have this conversation with people all the time too. It's more just there are other things out there that can provide you with your calcium and your iron and all of your other minerals and stuff as well. I was going somewhere with this, but I can't remember.
Your parents were forcing you to eat
Lactose one's the first time.
Oh, the lactose, yeah. And then I first heard of the term, I think, from my sister. So my sister and I, she's 7 years older than me, very similar bodies. We go through the same things at the same ages, but I'm obviously 7 years behind her.
Mm-hmm.
And she started figuring out that she was lactose intolerant too. And I'm like, okay, well maybe that's what I have. And I started not having it anymore, and life changing.
Right.
Wasn't bloating anymore.
Yeah.
Digestive system was very different.
Yeah.
No more intermittent farting.
And no more intermittent farting. Yeah.
No more fighting.
My skin was a big one. I don't think I've talked about this publicly ever, but I went through a really, really severe acne phase.
Right.
When I first met you, was I coming off that, or?
You were at the end of it, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I can show you some photos later if you want. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah. After Lemon Ball.
After Lemon Ball,
Get it out.
maybe one wine deep. I'll get it out. But it was a cycle of a few things, some mental health and some overeating and it was just an indulgence of all this dairy that I physically knew that I shouldn't be eating, but it's just I don't know. You can't stop a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it was coming out on my skin.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
So
then
you found your
that's
skin really
when-
responded to it.
Yeah, that's when I went vegan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So skin was better, digestive system, all that
No
was
more
better.
intermittent farting.
You found you were bouncing back a lot better from your training. No more soreness.
Yeah, bouncing back, headspace was better.
Did you both have weight loss? Did you notice a weight loss?
I did, yeah. My slimmest I've ever been. Remember, you've probably seen photos of me this time last year, and I was just I was really strong, but I'd lost all my body fat pretty much.
Yeah.
It wasn't dangerously, I've never been dangerously slim. I think my body physically could because I'm an eater.
Yeah.
And even though I was eating carbs on carbs on carbs, so much food, my body, it's just so much cleaner. So your body's just not holding on to all these toxins from fats. It's just a very different. It's not a reductionist way of looking at things. You know how you were saying 79 kilos is your
Yeah.
weight?
You got to know how your body's operating. So,
Yeah.
Take this much percentage of fat, this much
This
percentage
equals
of
this, and this equals this.
muscle. Yeah.
Or you can look at it as ignore the numbers and understand the quality of what you're eating.
Yeah.
That's kind of a total difference between a reductionist method of science and then a holistic method of science. So I think that because I was in the headspace of not thinking about numbers or calories, I've never counted a calorie, that even eating this much sweet potato for dinner and like lots of legumes and lots of bread and rice, I was still shedding all of this fat because your body's in like this. You almost turn into like a
it's a different machine.
furnace.
Yeah.
You're just burning energy all the time.
That's cool.
And it's cleaner energy, so it can get through it a lot quicker.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed my skin as well. My skin went like texturdura.
Yeah. Texture.
Texturdura.
It's definitely a word. Yeah.
I really don't know what you're trying to say.
Like it
The
got
skin had more texture to it.
yeah, and like the quality of my skin has gotten like just nicer. I don't know.
Okay.
Or
It
and
just-
tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I
got
got
a bit
more
of ink,
tattoos.
hey?
She's got so much.
Yeah. Run.
She covered up my favourite one though.
Oh.
So she used to have you can still kind of see it. She used to have like a piece of toast holding a surfboard.
Oh.
But she got it covered up with a butterfly.
I mean, the butterfly's pretty dope.
No, the toast was
The
cooler.
toast was
Toast was
pretty cool.
cooler.
See,
Okay.
like that and the dots, that was the toast.
Oh, yeah.
That's the surfboard.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
he like
yeah.
throwing in shackers or
It was
something?
like you.
Yeah.
With his hand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was pretty frothing.
Okay. Was that just you like toast and surfing? Was that?
Like kind of. It's a long story, but
Oh,
let's
okay.
just
Yeah,
leave
yeah,
it at that.
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we can.
This one's cool.
Yeah, we can go up on that one. Yeah.
It's a bit
Cheetah? Is that leopard?
It's a cheetah. Yeah.
Yeah, cheetah.
Yeah.
That was my favourite animal growing up.
Oh,
Yeah.
you and I are like.
Yeah, yeah.
I like a
Love
snow
cheetahs.
leopard.
Yeah. I don't know,
Snow
it's just-
leopards
Snow
are
leopard.
beautiful.
I just loved how quick they were. I don't know. There's something that was so agile and yeah, that
Still
was just
so
something I
gracious,
really
though.
liked. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you're like, oh, that's a nice cat, and then it just like fucks up
Molds
some antelope
something.
and just like catches it in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't
not
know,
as
they're just
cute anymore.
deadly, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I love cheetahs. Anyway, back on to
Dan.
what I actually wanted to ask you guys. What I wanted to ask you guys also is that so we kind of got why you guys the diets that you both have and you know this type of thing. But when it comes to your training,
Yeah.
now you're a PT.
Correct.
What do you do you specialize in certain things? Like is it weight loss, is it bodybuilding, is it performance, is there anything you're specializing in or is it
Like
just really
strength and conditioning mainly
Is it a big one?
in like female performance, female strength.
Yep.
I don't like specialize in it, but most of my clientele is around is in that space.
Okay.
So females in performance wanting to gain strength, or whether it's coming back from having a baby, or whether it's someone that's never stepped into a gym before
Yep.
in their life and they've got no idea what they're doing. Yeah, that's basically
Okay.
who I train and my forte.
Predominantly women?
Yeah, I train males too, obviously, but yeah, most of my clientele
How
is
do you
female.
go with because I all these thoughts started popping into my head when it was the International Women's Day or whatever
Oh
it
yeah,
was, not that long
it's my
ago.
favourite day of the year.
Yeah. Is it?
No.
No.
My laces.
Yeah. But and then my first thing was, oh, is there a men's day, blah, 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 you know, which there is, it's in November.
Oh,
And,
really?
yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
did not know
I'm not
that.
surprised it's in November, like the whole moustache month.
Yeah, I think it gets kind of absorbed in that.
Moustache month.
Yeah. So, and I just don't think guys, I don't know, I just don't think we care like about our day to kind of put it out there.
Yeah, right.
But when I heard the women's one, I was looking at a lot of things, and it was a lot of the inequality in the workplace environments and stuff like that. How do you find it in the fitness industry? Because I know that you would just be just as educated as other PTs
Yeah,
and
of
stuff
course.
like that. Are there some guys where they go, I don't want to be trained by a chick?
I think not as many as there used to be. So I work in a gym where it's predominantly males.
That thing is the size of Bunnings too, by the way.
You
That
need to
thing's
come check
huge.
it out.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Sugar
like
box training.
Sugar
Yeah.
box?
Yeah.
Is that big?
Massive.
huge.
You haven't come visited yet.
Oh,
Come
so
play.
I know. Just when you get, it's anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No.
Look,
What?
I think I've been very lucky in that place because we've got like an amazing clientele
Okay.
as well. And females, males, like no one really cares too much.
Cool.
But males being trained by females in general, I think it's becoming like increasingly popular. It's definitely,
Popular or just like evening out?
but just normal.
Just normal. Like people don't
like-
see it as a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think it's much of a big deal anymore as
Okay,
to
cool.
like if I'm being trained by a male or a female. Different story if, like I said before, with a lot of my clientele, if it's like a female that's never stepped into the gym before,
Yeah.
a lot of the time, not always, they'd prefer to be trained by a female just because they feel a bit more comfortable. But I don't see much of a difference anymore in terms of...
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I just heard there was just a lot of women at the time going on about, we need to get blah, 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 and all that, like more equality in the workplace and that type of thing. And in my industry, it's really female dominated. And even if you look at, say, modeling terms, what the highest female model is getting paid like between that 50 to 80 million a year, like some ridiculous amount. The top men model is getting paid about 10 million. Don't get me wrong, I'll be happy with 10. But there's a big gap there.
Massive.
So just in my line of work,
yeah,
I've never experienced it. And like my parents own a dance studio, and like it's my mum's dance studio. Yeah.
Which one?
Glenda Benton, GB Dance Co. Glenda Benton.
Where's that?
Chipping Norton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
West, yeah. And like I've just always been around, like I've never felt that. And I just wanted to know, in the fitness industry, where very physical industry, is that and like you do like a lot of the yoga stuff as well, don't you? Do you teach yoga?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the retreats and stuff that you're involved in.
Yeah. So I ran a yoga school in 2015-ish, in Thailand.
Okay.
And that was really intense. And then coming back from that, people just started offering me little teaching jobs here and there. But I don't teach full time. I think it would burn me out because I put a lot into it. As a dancer, I like choreograph every single thing, and I think
just quietly, Shay is probably the best yoga teacher I've ever had. She makes you laugh while you do yoga too. She puts in like little jokes. Like, oh my god, like I'm trying to think of an example. Like she'll tell you to reach that finger out like you're reaching for your peanut butter and jelly toast. Anyway, continue going.
It's accidental because I'm always thinking about food. So all of my analogies are usually food, like melt your hips like they're honey. And people are like salivating.
Where are you girls out with honey? Do you have honey?
We actually had honey this morning.
Right.
Honey on.
But
did you know there was honey on that?
I didn't.
I had honey on her breakfast.
Yeah, right.
I haven't come to terms with why. Maybe I'm just like still in the dark about it, but about honey, because in my mind it's like it's not harming the bee and it doesn't have animal proteins in it. Once again, I'm in it for the health side of it. As much as I love the animals. And I thought that if we're encouraging the production of honey, that means we're encouraging more bee farms. If we're encouraging more bee farms, the earth will survive.
Yeah, we really need bees.
They pollinate everything. A third of our food. Directly and indirectly.
Yeah.
I have to be scientifically correct when I say that.
Yeah. Get that in there. No, it's all right. You can throw in a bit of bro science. We don't need to be exact, but we need bees. So you guys have honey.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's not like we don't buy it to have it in the house, but if we go to a restaurant and it's on something,
I'll eat it.
Yeah.
There's a guy down the road and he actually does his own honey. Like he makes it and he sells it on.
It's actually really good if you've got sinus problems, hey? If you have local honey, because they're pollinating the plants that are making you have the allergies. So it's like a new, I don't know if you heard of that.
Wait, what?
Really?
If you're someone that suffers from seasonal allergies and sinus problems and hay fever, you should consume. Sorry for like vegans. You should.
Oh, you should.
You should consume local honey only because they're the ones that are pollinating all the flowers around you from the food that you're getting.
So it'll build up an immune system to your flowers that mess you up in the morning.
Pretty much.
Is that the
literally that's the idea around it. Yeah, because bees can fly so far around cities and pollinate so many different flowers in a day.
Yeah.
But if that's the city you're living in, you're way better off having that honey than honey from anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a new one.
So,
Fun Fact Fridays.
That's on the house.
Friday.
We can say that today. Fun Fact Friday every day of the week.
It's Friday. Okay, cool. And touching on that last, so you've never have you been like, I don't know, male yoga teachers, female yoga, anything like that? No,
a lot of my classes were predominantly, when I was teaching, males because I was teaching in a street in Thailand, Soi Thai Yed, where it's like famous for people going there to better their fitness. So some people go to places and just do like CrossFit and crazy workouts and ice baths and saunas every day for like months to shed their weight. Other people go to all of the Muay Thai gyms and do their type of, there's all different types of martial arts training, but mostly Muay Thai. Yeah, Muay Thai. And the Muay Thai fighters started coming to my yoga studio and enhancing their performance or their fighting so much better because they were getting flexible. Their fighting, is that what you said?
Yeah, I heard fighting.
Oh, Jesus.
The farting podcast.
The farting podcast. I'm going to have to bloody change this.
So I was used to having predominantly males. But coming back to Sydney, yeah, I don't mind teaching either, and I love going to classes where males teach. I think yoga's really open about it because of it's based on such an openness and a mindfulness, so that everyone's like, well, we're all just beings, So I think that's because it's part of the yoga culture. It doesn't matter what sex the person is that's teaching you.
We touched on it kind of at the top of this about your followings that you both have. And I want to try to tie this back into that last one that we had, but are you, like, the people that follow you, are they, like, messaging you a lot? And I just want to touch on, do you know who your audience are? Because, like, you're both attractive young women, right? Now, I know Instagram, oh, shucks. But, Instagram can be full of, like, sleazy guys. And they're single. But Instagram can be full of, like, heaps of kind of, like, sleazy guys and stuff like that. Are you finding your audience, like, kind of, like, sliding into your DMs and all that type of shit? Do you find, have you got, like, a real organic, like, it is, like, you're talking to more girls like yourself, or is it just, like, a bunch of creeps that are following you girls?
I actually looked at my audience in my insights yesterday, and it's almost, like, 50-50. I've got slightly more females than what I do males. And I get DMs from both. Not all guys are creepy. There are creepy ones, but I still make a conscious effort. I've told this to Shay before. I still make a conscious effort to reply to every single one of my DMs, even if they're a really creepy dude. I still bring it back to something that's super, like, lighthearted and normal and human. Because I don't know. At the end of the day, they're reaching out. They're putting their heart on the line, I guess. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to shut you down too much.
So kind.
But yeah, obviously, like, we both get lots of questions about what we do day to day, like, from females and stuff as well. Like, I was going through some DMs yesterday, like, asking about the structure of a workout that I posted, or the recipe for something that we made, or that dal that you made last night. Someone asked for the recipe. So there's a lot of, like, mainly around workouts and recipes that.
Okay, cool.
And a lot about, like, how do you stay motivated and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, same.
A little. I would say mine's at the moment is roughly around 72% female.
Yeah.
Good.
Which is good. Yeah, that kind of happened after I worked with Sarah's Day. So I just was on a photo she's the girl we're talking about from Cronulla.
Yep.
So after that, it boosted a lot, and it boosted in mostly females, and her audience is surely predominantly females.
Yeah.
100% would be like 80s, like high 80s. So anyway, from there, I noticed that whatever content I push out there, I start to get questions in that line, because I think people see it, it sits in their subconscious, and then they ask. So a lot of it is usually a mix of, same thing, asking about recipes. A lot of people in the last few months have started asking, when's my cookbook coming out? I don't have a cookbook. I'm thinking about creating...
Put it out into the universe. Just do it.
You can just start with an e-book. Like, just make it easy. You don't need to...
Is that what E stands for?
Yeah. No, it's electronic, isn't it? Or E...
Something like that. All I know is that it's not on
like
paper.
email.
Okay. Well, yeah, I want
It's
to
not
put...
on paper.
Oh, we have another dad joke.
That was bad.
Yes, I love
dad jokes. It's like her thing. That's why her
What were we dad
dad
joking about this morning? It was great. I can't remember.
Seeds?
No, your dad and me were laughing about something.
I hate that that's on the podcast. It's not on paper. So anyway, I think it's something you should look at. Yeah.
I am considering it, but I'm kind of working on how to run my own retreats up in the Sunshine Coast. So I think that will be part of what I give away to my...
Whereabouts?
Majimba?
Oh, Majimba.
Yeah,
okay,
do you know it?
Oh, well, my parents have a place at Noosa.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, so I kind of know it a little bit.
Yeah, it's like Coolum. That's Coolum, yeah. So... I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm actually moving to Queensland on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Ta-da!
Oh, right.
I haven't told anyone.
I feel like
well, everyone's going to find out.
I feel like you're always out and about, though.
I am. And
that's why I was so surprised when you were down the road, because really, like, I've chatted to you a couple of times, but more, kind of just see what she's doing. Oh, yeah, cool.
Literally down the road.
But yeah, I was just like, fuck.
She's next door.
And it was, that's that house. I love that house. Yeah.
So back to the followers thing. I will get mostly people asking about how tips and tricks to stay in shape. Mm-hmm. That was kind of it for the last few years. But now that I'm pushing a lot of questioning the paradigm that we live in, like the scientific nutrition paradigm we live in, and saying, maybe dairy is scary, or maybe, all these certain little questions, and just sort of planting a seed and seeing what people say, or screenshotting conversations with people that are like, oh my god, you're hurting plants, how rude of you to eat plants. And I'm like, this is funny, let's post it. But it gets all these conversations going, and now a lot of what I'm receiving in my inbox is people wanting to make that transition into plant-based, and how do I do it, and what are recipes, and will it fix my ailments? So I have to draw a line at some point saying, look, I'm not a doctor, I haven't started my degree just yet in nutrition, but when I do, I'll have an answer for you. But
you've got a lot of knowledge on yourself, how it worked for you, but in terms of me giving you legit advice.
But she's done a lot of her own research too. Like she's always studying, she's always learning more. She's always wanting to better herself, and Fun Fact Friday every single day.
Every day. I just like picked up this biology textbook, which is like this big. It's just to prepare myself for uni, because I'm enrolling in uni in a couple of weeks and I'm very nervous about it.
Hectic.
But I was like, let's just read a whole textbook.
Oh, you're going to be starting when I finish.
Oh my god.
How long you applied? 4 years?
4 years.
Oh, shoot me in the head.
Shoot me in the head.
No, I won't do that. But that, what are you studying?
Dietetics.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's good. You'll enjoy it.
I'll definitely enjoy it.
I feel like when you do it, like where, you know, you're at now, like age-wise, and like you're actually doing it for a good reason. You're not there because, like, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing it for
when
a
I
good
was,
reason.
like, just out of school, I did a degree in dance education. So it was a high school education, but dance was my major. And I was there because, like, it was a thing everyone did. You just had to leave school, especially in my family, leave school, go to uni.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm a dancer, so I'll do dance.
Can we touch on that, you're a dancer? Because that really intrigued, because I saw you when you were in Canada doing, were you in Canada?
Yeah, I was.
You were doing dance classes over there, and I was watching, I was just like, oh my god, the fit chick dances. I was just like, wow.
Sha-la-la-la-la, she dances.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la, she's a dancer. So, so what, you grew up through a dance studio?
Yeah.
You said you went to K&B?
Yeah, K&B.
Sorry, we might bore you in the next, 2 minutes.
No, I'm going to stay switched on.
Stay with me.
I'm going to bring some of my little dance knowledge into this.
I love it.
Yeah, jump on board. So you went to K&B? So who taught you, Brad?
Oh my gosh, yes!
Oh,
No, I did a podcast with Brad.
Did you actually?
Yeah, he's the 5th episode. Check it out.
I will.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I feel bad that I haven't.
No, that's
Plug in the 5th episode.
Yeah.
And so I actually started at, oh my gosh, where did I start? In Sutherland. Oh my god, I've totally forgotten.
That's right.
I was 4. And
you were 4.
Yeah, I did a lot of ballet.
You're not meant to remember. It's all good.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Ballerina.
I did a lot of ballet, yeah. I was like, it was my favourite, and then I linked into like tap and jazz, and at K&B I actually quit tap at one point.
Really?
Yeah, but Brad got me back into it.
I was about to say, he's a great tap teacher.
He's amazing.
He's teaching tap at my parents' dance studio.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
he's so
He's
like friendly and funny and fiery. But before that, I had a female tap teacher. Don't remember her name, but she yelled a lot. And as a kid, I was like a little teeny tiny, scared of everything. Spent my lunchtimes in the library, like did not like yelling. Oh. And and my teacher yelled so loud that I went home one night. I was like, I quit tap. Mum was like hanging up my tap shoes, fine. And then the next year I saw that a couple of my new dance friends were doing tap, and it was a different teacher. So I did it, and Brad was my teacher, and he's lovely.
Right.
But that was K&V for a few years. I did Eddinghausen's up until I was 23. I felt so old.
Why did you move from K&B to Eddinghausen?
Because I moved houses.
But they're like...
No, you know what? It wasn't a straight transition.
Oh, okay.
I know that now that they're competitors. But at K&V, I wasn't good.
Okay.
At this age, at all, like jazz, hip hop, tap. I was only good at ballet.
Oh.
And I got invited to go to Kennedy's, which was like not the same sector. You know how there's like the Estedford like group, the well-known dancers, and then there's like the side hustle, like the other school.
Yeah, the fun one.
Yeah, it was more for fun. Everyone got to be front center. Everyone got a turn, and it wasn't as competitive. But then I kind of realized that I was never like able to be seen in class because I wasn't flexible. I'm like, I'm going to work on that. So I just sat in the splits watching TV, put Bibles on my legs, did like all the tricks to get flexible.
Yeah.
Got flexible, then I was like, I want to go back, but I'm too scared to go back to K&B. Went to Eddinghausen's, but also because at the time I moved to Kirrawee High School, and a lot of those girls went to Eddinghausen's, and I was like, well, I live down the road. Yeah, I was living like literally next to Eddinghausen's, and I wanted to do my advanced exam, so I went back and got back into advanced. Loved the studio. I went to Eddinghausen's, and then I went to uni and continued dance. We did like 5 hours a day maybe of dance. It was awesome.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, that was kind of my story. I stopped because I got into surfing. Like,
So did you start getting better at it though? Like by the end of it? Like,
oh yeah.
Like commercially, or was it just more like jazz and hip hop and all that type of stuff, or was it still more very balletic and
Look,
very
my jazz
contemporary?
is still pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we did study.
It's still pretty bad.
I got really good at tap. I
Great.
won a lot of tap comps.
Hectic.
It's too far. Keep going.
What's too far?
No,
I
there's
just
one
went to
tap
pull
shop.
my elbow out.
Oh.
Lost.
And just getting into it, just full straight out. Yeah, mad.
But it's kind of like sadly nostalgic for me. Like when I watch musicals and movies and stuff
Takes
and
you
people
back.
dance, I like cry on the inside. I'm like, why didn't I pursue that more? Because a lot of my
Yeah.
friends did like ED5 and dance on cruise ships. One of my best friends just came back from Berlin where she was a dancer.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I could have chose that path, but because I stuck to surfing, you couldn't.
That's alright.
do
You're leading a pretty good life.
It's
Pretty
fun.
good life.
Yes, it's alright.
I think.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's great.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Cool. So now that we've got the dance talk out of the way, sorry.
I had lots of inputs in that
welcome
conversation.
back. Yeah, lots of input. Yeah. Did you do anything growing up?
As in like dance wise or just
Just anything.
Anything.
You just
No.
like,
yes,
It's
floor is mine.
Nah, bro, just deadlifts.
Well, yeah, no, I played netball
right.
from 5 till 20.
Mm.
So I played netball.
Injuries from that? Knees, ankles?
No, surprisingly.
Wow, you did well.
My knee used to be a bit chunky sometimes. I used to just tape it, but surprisingly, no, I was fine. Did dancing, a bit of ballroom dancing, a little bit different to ballet.
Shit.
But I quit because my dance teacher left and she moved far away, and I just fell out of love with it. But that was fun. I really enjoyed it. My lifelong dream back when I was ballroom dancing was to be one of the Dancing with the Stars. Not the stars, but the professional dancer.
Yeah, professional. They make bank, those guys. Over in the States, they kill it. Like, the pro dancers, like, they make 20 to 50K an app. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Why is this so
Damn it! Why did I pursue that?
In the States, it's extremely hard.
Oh, a friend of mine is like one of the top ballroom dancers in Australia.
Really?
Chrissy Simmons. Yeah, she's from around here, and she was in that movie Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, she's incredible. I think she now.
That's a good movie. Forgot about that one.
Australia, yeah, that is a good one.
You tend to forget about movies when like new ones like A Star Is Born comes out. Oh my god, I love it.
Especially when
seen
they're
it.
Australian produced too, you kind of forget about them.
Yeah. I haven't seen Star Is Born.
Neither have I.
I just feel like...
Maybe we'll watch it tonight.
Oh, fuck. Yes.
He's like, too much, I'm leaving this stage.
He's like, this hour podcast is more than enough with you two.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And there was another thing I wanted to chat about with both of you, because you do go to these events where they go, okay, we need to get all the influencers in. Mm-hmm. Do you feel weird when you sometimes get tagged as an influencer, like you're influencing people? Like, do you ever look at it in a way going, holy shit, someone has called me influencer, like I'm influencing people? Like, do you feel like there's a certain role with that, or you're just like, yeah, that's just what they call us? That's not actually a term. Like, if you think about the term influencing.
I feel like a lot of the time, especially in the past maybe year, it's gotten a bad rap. Bad rap.
Bad rap.
Bad rap?
Yeah.
Bad rap.
Rap or rep?
I think it's rap.
Reputation?
Oh, it could be both. Bad rap. It's
It's
definitely
been
bad
talked
rap.
about poorly. It's
Yeah.
Bad rap is totally the same.
That's
With a W.
definitely a saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
But bad rep makes sense too.
But you're like creating it.
But yeah.
Because that could be a bad like rep when you do a deadlift. It's bad
Fair.
rep, don't
Maybe
you?
that's why I said it. Bad rep. No rep. Okay, anyway. I think mainly because a lot of people have grown so much and have such a large following, and they're kind of like spreading information that's either incorrect or doing it for the wrong reasons, or just posting booty pics and
Trying to get free stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So those type of influencers, maybe a lot of the time,
They give us a bad name.
they give the people that actually are in it for the right reasons and that are sharing correct information, a bad name and bad rep.
I know rep.
I know rep. But like, we aren't huge followings, but still, like, at the same time, I've got 16,000 people that are watching everything that I'm doing. You've got 33,000 people that are watching you doing. So like, you do have Like you've got a big
audience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
like
what
you
time
do
do you
have
go,
a,
okay, I'm going to post something because I know that the people who follow me will like it, or I'm going to post this so that everyone likes it? You know how there's two...
Like, I think for me it's like, it depends, because sometimes you're being paid to post something.
Yeah.
But you always want to share it in a light that's going to bring them some sort of value, or else why they're following you.
Yeah.
people see through that too.
They do. Like, if you ever saw me doing like this, which you never will, because it's like, that's the second you look at it, it's like, oh well, that's advertising. But like, we will actually do a workout and then actually post about it, and everything that we do is transferred into what we say, if that makes sense. So it's very real, and therefore it's relatable, and therefore the followers believe that we're natural. Like, you get a lot of people, you probably get the same thing, inboxing you saying, oh, like, you're, I follow a lot of people, but like, you're one of the few that's actually the same person in real life. Like, you don't give a shit about.
It's actually why I wanted to have you on the podcast. I mean, we hung out the other day because I kind of know your energy and your vibe, but like, I just met you as of like an hour ago. So yeah, it's more, and I think it would be good to say, if anyone that follows you guys, they see this, to know that you guys can chat for an hour and you're still very much human.
More than
and
an hour.
I know you could probably, God, you could do an hour.
Bring
just
the
on
camera
that fucking
tonight.
lemon thing. Yeah, we're not talking about it again. We've already spoken about it.
Lemon ball.
Okay, cool. All right, so...
But yeah, at the same time, there is a lot of responsibility, like, to make sure that the information that you're putting out there is correct, and you're not posting things for the wrong reasons, or you're not, posting, I don't know, like sexual things, or like, things like that as well. Because a lot of the time we both have like quite young audiences, I think, as well. And you don't want to be, but yeah, like at the same time, like, we have our own brand and image that we need to protect as well. So we're not going to be doing anything that's going to be harming that.
I think, like Danielle said before, it has to come from a good place. And that's like the difference between the two types of influencers. There's like ones that are in it for themselves and the ego boosting, and I look amazing, so
and the money.
And the money and the free stuff. And then there's those that are like doing it from a place. So like, we've got pretty similar places, and I would say mine is like posting things and talking about things that make people question the world they live in. Because I think that it would be such a monotonous, boring world if we're all like, okay, this is the food pyramid, let's eat like this is how we go to work, go to uni, and this is what we do. It becomes like boring life. So I think that as much as social media can be detrimental to mental health and other different things, and like time consuming and looking at our screens, but some of the positives that come from it, maybe they encourage you to travel and do things you would never have done before because you see it online. Or maybe they, for example, looking at my story, Danielle's story, make you question something before eating it. You're like, oh, I'll flip the packet over and read all like these terrible preservatives. Maybe I won't eat that, and that changes them for the better. So I think we come from a place where it's like, we want to make people question what they already know. Like Simon Hill, the guy that does Plant Proof podcast, said this incredible quote the other day just on his like Instagram story.
Does he have a whole podcast just on plant?
Yes, he interviews like all different types of aspects of veganism, like cardiologists, and then mushroom. I think he interviewed the mushroom guy.
Wow.
There's a mushroom guy?
There's a mushroom guy. Oh no, that's it. That's a really fast.
Just like, get rid of this bun.
It's me upside down.
He interviewed the
What's that
mushroom
really
guy.
famous?
I don't know. You're educating me on the mushrooms at the moment, so this ball's in your court.
The really famous podcast dude.
Oh, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan interviews
That's why I started
the
this
mushroom
thing.
guy.
Yeah. Oh, does he?
Watch it. Google Joe Rogan mushrooms.
Yeah. Okay.
Incredible.
You'll see him high on mushrooms.
Well, no, he has done that a couple of years. Yeah, he's a big advocate for all that type of stuff, for any type of drug that kind of basically pushes your brain to take it to a new level, as opposed to just getting high.
Another world of mushrooms. So he brings up this. Oh, if you're going to Google anything about that episode, just Google Joe Rogan mushroom mafia.
Mushroom mafia. Oh, you know what?
About,
that
like,
has
mushroom
come up
mafia?
as a suggested thing. Because I only really watched the Rogan stuff because I'm a big UFC mixed martial arts dude, and that's how I got into it. And so I'm like, love that shit. So from there, but there has been a few podcasts because he gets a lot of interesting people.
Like Elon Musk.
I watched that one.
That is a good one. Have you not seen that?
No.
It goes for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I think I watched 90% of it. I couldn't.
Yeah, I sat down, got it all done in one hit, and I just got out of it. I was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid.
And scared, like the AI thing.
That AI thing, when they brought that up, and he's just like, it's probably too late. I was just like, what do you mean it's too late?
Well, yeah, because they're becoming autonomous. So.
Yeah, watch it.
Watch it. Yeah, well, watch it tonight.
Watch it tonight. Fucking hell, we're gonna have to start our night like now.
After this, lunch into the first episode. Okay.
Yeah, lunch into everything. Yeah, cool.
Lemon ball too.
Now, this lemon ball thing.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
Can I just say, this is very typical of like a Danielle and I day because we haven't finished a single conversation.
I feel like
They
we've been
flow into the
pretty
next
good considering.
Well, yeah,
though.
for us this is good, but normally we go from like A to B to Z to Y back, and then we never finish anything.
You never
We
finish
have
anything.
about a million unfinished conversations.
You girls have been good. You've been going back and
Oh,
finishing
good.
your points, so it's
Thank
good.
you.
And generally, sometimes I might do that.
You
like
might
I'll
need
make
to
sure
bring
that
us back,
I
yeah.
kind of direct the person if they go off on a tangent. I'll be like, okay,
Rope
come
them
back.
back
But
in.
you guys have done that by yourself. Yeah.
Go on.
I think you two could do a really good podcast together, though. I feel like.
Or maybe like a reality TV show.
Who wants to fund it? We've honestly been approached that many times about like a reality TV show, like doing our own or a podcast or a YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
Or like a carpool karaoke.
Well, the podcast thing, you've got your own. It's your own domain. You can do whatever you want. Like you
Yeah.
can talk about whatever you want. You can. There's so many avenues you can take it. So, no, you both got like awesome chemistry, and I think both your followings would respond to it big time.
I don't know how they work though. Like I'll have to pick your brain after because I literally.
I'm extremely basic with myself. So I've said this to all the other ones, but like this was a form of training for me for my presenting.
Right.
Because in the long run, I'd love to have my own form of TV show and like have guests on. Like I love the whole Graham Norton blueprint.
Love,
How
yeah.
he gets 3 different people from different, like the latest movie that's out, the latest singer that's got a hit record, and maybe a comedian or anything. And he just puts them all on the couch, pours them all a little drink, and
Has chat.
just chat.
Oh, so it's like
I
a lot
love
of
that.
those late night shows, but
Yeah. If that would be an ideal for me to have like the late show with Corey Blake or something like
that's
that.
cool. Yeah.
Mushrooms up late with yellow balls.
Lemon ball!
Oh, yellow
What did I
balls.
say? Yellow balls. That doesn't sound right.
I don't want yellow balls.
What is
Don't
that?
bring your yellow balls tonight.
I've never. Do not bring your yellow balls tonight. No one wants any of that.
That's
What
gonna be the
fuck
quote.
is yellow balls? What is that?
You take
Is that a
anything from
condition?
this
Could someone
podcast.
comment underneath this? Corey, stop joking about yellow balls. It's an actual
It's
thing.
a serious thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry
I
if you
want to
have
Google
yellow
it right
balls.
now, actually.
We'll
We'll
do
do
it.
it after
We'll
the
do it later.
podcast.
Well, I don't need to do that on the podcast. We'll get that up. But in short of all that, I think do a podcast. It'd be good. Think of a name.
Oh,
Maybe it's
we
called Yellow Balls.
ramble
Maybe we
for
just started
so
that. Maybe
long.
that's the name of your podcast.
I would like lemon ball as the title.
Lemon Balls. Yeah, Lemon Balls would
It's like
be
a
cool.
child.
Did we talk about this?
Well-
the balls that she brought?
We went to show you lemon ball, but the real
Oh, get it
legitimate
out. Is it just
authentic-
there?
Well, it's
Well,
a plum ball.
It's more like a strawberry ball.
We do actual lemon balls in my bag somewhere, and on the way out, the dog was carrying a ball, and there was another ball in the stairway, so I couldn't decide, and I accidentally brought both my balls.
So you've got 2 balls with you right
They're
now.
right
and
there.
you're-
One's
Where are
like a peach ball and a strawberry ball.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm going to get it. This is the first time anyone's ever brought... So,
Props.
hang on. These aren't the balls that you found.
No. That
Today, we
was
just found them today.
So
Oh,
yeah,
you
they're
found them. Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say that are yours, like your dog's been running around with them. And
No,
have you got a dog?
No,
So it's
I
the-
wish I had one.
They're like this, but it's
Squat
yellow.
Yeah, I used to work at Rebel Sport. We used to sell this shit all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what sold it as a lemon ball? There was an apple sticker on it. Do you remember? I mean, it
That's
looks like
it.
a lemon.
Yes! That's why we thought it was a lemon. We're
Yeah.
like, Shay, there's a lemon here. And we went to pick it up. Like, it's a squash ball. And we play tennis with it. Oh, we already said this story.
Say it again.
Say it again. All right, I'm just about to wrap this up. But
Aw.
I'm sorry, it's just time.
Crushed.
We got a lot of shit to do. I got to wrap this up.
Prepare for our dinner tonight.
If in a platform where, and this is why I think you should have your own podcast, because you can honestly say and do whatever you want. But in Instagram, you can put visual stuff out there. Facebook, more personal stuff. In this type of platform, is there anything that you ladies want to go, hey, you know what, I'm going to throw this out there because it's what people need to know? Is there anything right now that's fuck it, I've always wanted to say this.
Ooh.
You can't talk about it.
I think, I don't know if this is super relevant to what you just said, but I think a lot of the stuff that we've talked about today, whether it be living a fit lifestyle or eating lots of fruits and veg, do it from a young age. So I'm all about, like we said, prevention versus cure down the track. So I'm slowly trying to transition into the children's health and fitness space.
Oh, okay.
Create more habits from a young age so that they can sustain them throughout their lives. So if anything,
Big on education.
just start.
How are you doing that? Is
start
this like a
young.
thought, or are you going to actively pursue this one?
I don't want
'Cause
to
the
talk
thing is
about
gonna-
it publicly yet,
Oh,
but
if
there's something in
that
the
you're like,
works.
oh, okay, you got something in the works.
Yeah,
Man,
I can tell you later.
Tell me later.
Yeah, so just do it from a young age, whether
That's cool.
you're young and watching this or whether you're a new parent. Like, just take the initiative to make your children's lives better.
Right.
And rather than, because obviously I'm a trainer and I'm fixing like problems that
Yep.
people have built up over the years, rather than
Yeah.
having to do that and doing all this extra work to try to get your body to back to ideally where it should be. Just do it from a young age, create the habit so it doesn't become a problem later on.
Cool.
So true. Yeah.
Rate that. Yeah. Is there anything,
You know the whole let's wrap up what we said before. I just realised as she was talking, I actually didn't mention why I brought up Simon Hill because we were like, oh my god, podcast, and then we completely took a
Right.
different
His
train.
quote.
Yeah.
His quote. So
Yes.
he literally just
Oh,
typed
yeah.
this as a little note and put it on his story, and it's like the most impactful thing I've read in a while because it rings home to me. So his quote was, it's probably going to say it wrong now. It's a lot easier to fool someone than to convince them they're being fooled. Which then brings me to my point of what I love to preach. And
Can you just say that again?
I like
it's a lot easier to fool someone
Yeah.
than it is to convince them that they're being fooled.
Yeah, okay.
So I like to use that in the dairy industry as an example.
Right.
So I met a teacher by accident in Fiji. I was at the airport a couple of weeks ago, and I was just transitioning to a different flight. That's not the word you would use. What's the word you use?
Connecting. Yeah.
Connecting flight. She was also connecting the same two flights. And I saw her yelling at her dad. Her dad was like an elderly man carrying like a tray of food. And he got a thing of milk, like a carton of milk. She's like, Dad, like, come on, we talk about this. Her whole family was vegan. It turned out like three kids, mom, dad, really cool family.
Awesome.
All like doctors and nutritionists, and the kids were going to got scholarships to universities, like really cool family. Anyway, and I just like shut my laptop and started listening to her argument. And she's like, I'm a school teacher, and you know that when I hand out the papers for like the science or the nutrition exams, on the back it literally says funded by the dairy industry. Yeah, and she's like, so I ended up getting up and meeting her, and we had a cool little chat, and I was telling her about I want to run workshops and educate people on plant-based health. And she was like, yeah, it's just really sad to watch. Like you see it ingrained in the older generation. It's like, you can't unlearn that because it's grilled into you from such a young age that dairy is so important. And it might not even be dairy. It might be anything like listening to the news is the most important piece of information you have to hear all day. But really,
if he's old, he doesn't give a fuck.
he also doesn't give. He's like, I'm still alive.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like
good.
Susie.
He's like, I've had a happy
I'm
life.
82. I'm gonna drink
Yeah.
milk.
But you know what it is? That's just the thing is that when someone says, "Oh, you're plant-based," that's good. But like, my grandma smokes a pack a day. She's never exercised, and she eats sausages for breakfast. They're like statistical outliers.
Yeah.
That can happen. But if if the whole country smoked a pack a day and ate sausages for breakfast, we know that's going to be detrimental to our health. So I think that my takeaway from this is be ready to have people tell you that you're being fooled all your life, because that's what growing up is. Like, you always unlearn things, but you have to be willing to unlearn it. And there's some things we're willing to unlearn, and some things, open mind. Some things we're just like, nah, this is for sure the truth. So I think learning to have an open mind and unlearn certain things that you think that you know. So it's really about taking your ego out of it. Because I didn't take my ego out of it because I was such a milk and egg fan. Like, I was like, dairy
I have
and eggs.
maybe
Eggs every day.
two glasses of milk every night.
Really?
Wow.
Milk drinker.
Can't hide my emotions here.
Will that change
just
after
have my whole
everything
life.
we talked about
People.
today?
No,
No.
probably not. Well, we haven't really spoken about why
Yeah.
I should
We
drink
can
milk.
Tonight. I've actually got that big whiteboard ready to explain it all.
Just walk in and just like, here is your handout. And I'm just like,
And here is your seat.
I thought I was coming to watch Star Wars and have some veggies.
No, we have a 6-hour workshop to go through.
How good.
Can we?
I actually haven't. I won't bore you with that.
Ah, shit. Okay, cool. All right. No. I think that's a big thing too. A lot of people do get very, closed in because they're just like,
You need to have an open mind and be willing to unlearn.
The more you think you know, the less you actually know.
Yeah.
I love saying I don't know and just going to research it, or saying, tell me your story.
Well, I was chatting to a few people that I was like, have you girls on, and they're just like, oh shit, Corey, you're not one for the whole vegan thing and all that. You just kind of always kind of brush up.
Footage of us stabbing you.
Yeah. With a carrot. But they're like, how are you going to go? I was just like, bro, I almost need to kind of dumb myself. Like, I need to go in there and just be like, I actually know nothing of that because I've never looked into it. It's also, I was actually really intrigued to get your angle on a few things. I love the thing that you said about the cows, that we feed the cows more food than shit. That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, I'm still gonna have a glass of milk. I just love milk. But you know what? There's part of me, I don't want to look too much into it because I know I love it. And I know if I look into it, it's gonna fuck it up. Yeah. Which is why I was also asking, why do you do it? Because it's health reasons. For me, it would be animal cruelty and all that. That's the stuff that I know. If I look too much into that, it's just gonna do me.
So you kind of like.
I know it's over there, I just don't want to read it.
Yeah, okay, so you know that it exists, you know it's terrible, you know what's going on, but you don't want to
I just can't do it, because if I scratch the surface too much, it's going to fuck up my milk every night, and I just love that shit.
You love it that much. Casein is very addictive. Casein is,
that was like us with our chocolate and her Tim
I was
Tams.
going to say, okay, so...
Living evidence, you will survive.
Yeah, I know. The world's going to keep spinning, I'll be right. Bit heavy there, no, but say you're on your deathbed, right? Okay. They're like, Shay, you've got an hour to live, but you need to have one meal before you die.
What is it?
Well, over there you've got your, I don't know. Well, what's your go-to meal?
Right now?
What is just something that you just love, that you just like, that food?
Oh my God, hard question. Like a Buddha bowl?
So much.
Okay.
Yeah, Buddha bowl.
Like, just this amazing fresh Buddha bowl. And then right next to it, there's Tim Tam ice cream and a big fucking thing of Milo. And you've got an hour left. So you're like, this is going to be me. I'm out. After this meal, I'm out.
Oh.
I'd probably go the chocolate. Because
I'm in it. Chocolate.
I'm in it for the health reasons.
There. I don't know. Is anyone watching? Because I don't want to advocate for that. But if I'm on my deathbed,
you could be dead. Who gives a fuck?
Well, here's my just brings back to a point. If I have a leather handbag, which I don't, but let's just say I had a really nice leather handbag, and I went vegan, which I have been now for 2 years, I would still carry the leather handbag around because I'm not going to throw it out and be a consumer and go and buy another one. But the one thing is I wouldn't show it off. I would kind of hide it, only use it when I needed to, because I feel like me carrying that makes it okay for other people to buy. Like, it gives credibility to leather. So in saying that, when I say if someone was watching, I mean more or less, I don't want to give eating milk credibility to those that are about to live for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
But to me, who's about to live one more hour, dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's my last meal. You promised me. What if I...
What if she miraculously survives?
Just kidding.
We literally watched someone come back to life last night.
Yeah.
That was... Let's watch that tonight,
in a
actually.
TV show. I'm just like, what do you guys do?
We're pretty eventful humans.
Yeah, okay.
You'll find out.
Just I don't know, just someone popped into my head. All right, now I am going to wrap that up, because I said I was going to wrap that up.
Oh, yeah.
And that was 20 minutes ago.
Going for an hour 10.
Yeah, long podcast, good podcast though. So, what I'd hope to see is that you guys start your own thing, even though you're going to be on the Sunshine Coast pretty soon.
Still very possible.
Still very possible. You can do it.
We can just do lives, like split lives. Remember how we used to do those?
He's trying to wrap this up. We can't go through the conversation.
Literally about to fire. Okay, thank you for your time, ladies. I'm going to cut that down. Yeah, pretend like there's like a little funky music that's kind of coming in, because that's generally what happens. Yeah. Cool. All right, that's it. Get on with the way. Yo, bye.